Hey guys, it's Mr. Peng, and after the news a few days ago that UK pubs are reopening, I've decided that I'm going to have my rant on it. And to be fair, I'm pretty annoyed that pubs, along with cinemas, restaurants, and hairdressing places, are staying open, but gyms and other stuff like that, or even schools, are not open. Or they're only open to some people. And even schools are mass gathering still, and yet that's not open. And yeah, I'm going to have my rant on that. So I'm going to get into the rant now by saying the government said they'd open places with social distancing measures in place. And they'd open small places first. Pubs, restaurants, and cinemas especially. Maybe hairdressers maybe are small places, but the rest of them are not small places at all. They're huge gatherings of people. And quite frankly, it's putting more people at risk of the virus. Since you think that, since the number of cases is apparently going down, although it's probably that hospitals are not reporting anymore, that probably it's still going to go up again, yet he probably thinks we're out of the woods with it, and now we can just open everything now, which is completely stupid. And my second point is that gyms are an easy place to socially distance because not a lot of people are there, and it's a big place. You can go 2 meters apart, no problem. While pubs, cinemas, etc. are not easy places to socially distance. Because people sort of sit at a table right next to each other in a group, like they would normally. Like most people sort of sit, maybe groups of 5 or 6 most of the time, and they're sort of like maybe half a metre between them at most. And if just one of them has it, guess what? The others have it now as well. They're all fucked. And the infection rate supposedly declined, and only declined because of the strict measures that were put in place. If people start overcrowding again now, when it probably isn't completely gone at all, which will be happening in pubs, because again, who would sit 2 meters apart in a pub, which is a small place, and lots of people go? It won't happen. It's just not possible. The infection rate is just going to shoot back up again. And it's just going to cause a massive rise in infections. So, and then what? We're going to go into full lockdown again, which is just going to completely fuck up this country's economy. And the government say the main priority is the people's health and safety. If their concern is the health and safety of people, then why are they allowed in places where social distancing is nearly impossible, and everyone there is just going to act like they normally would, as if there is nothing going on around the world? Right? But they'll act like nothing's going on. They'll act as if there's no chance of them getting infected. Because why would they go 2 meters apart and talk to each other from there and let everyone else hear them? It's not going to happen again. It's just this poor plan from the government, and this is on schools now. Only a few people are back at school, when I think if the government's plan wasn't so poor, and had they risk assessed it properly, and just sort of skim read the assessments, or their assessments, which means they do sort of maybe 1 or 2 assessments, and then don't sort of evaluate it properly. They just look at it and then just think, yeah, that might do. And it's caused some students to get it, when they should, if they risk assessed it and found ways to make it work, which they probably would have done if they used more time to do that. Most students, if not all students, would probably have been back at school by now, let alone by September. Hell, even to the point where some people like me are saying September is optimistic to go back to school. It's completely rubbish, this whole thing is. And what I think has been happening is that Boris Johnson has been making, quite frankly, all the wrong decisions during this crisis. And, well, I mean, to use a quote, he's been asleep at the wheel. Because, like, whatever's happened, like, when it comes to getting PPE, when it comes to enforcing social distancing measures, when it comes to doing things to slow the spread of the virus, other countries do it before us, like 2 weeks before us. Or with Italy, when we were about 2 weeks behind them. We had 2 weeks to react, and we didn't. We locked down about 3 weeks after Italy, and we were all laughing at Italy for having a bad death toll. And guess what? We've had a much higher death toll than Italy now, and a much higher number of cases. Yet we're in a country with a similar number of people. So don't use the excuse that we're in a higher population, because we're not. We have about the same population. And with Boris Johnson, the sooner he stops bullshitting the public, and the sooner he stops concealing the reality of the situation, the sooner he gets a grip of this situation, and the sooner he stops blowing smoke up our arses, the quicker he might get this country's economy back on track, because that's what he needs to do. Boris Johnson said, after our country lost 12 years of its economy, or 20% worth of our country's GDP, in 2 fucking months, he said that he's going to get it back on track. Well, if you keep bullshitting us, and if you don't do fuck all, which you're not, because you're not doing that right now, that won't happen. And to get back to a few points ago, and clearly, I can see why they're trying to do it now, try and get money, because, or short term, it's a very short-sighted way of getting money. And I can explain why, because by reopening pubs, cinemas, and restaurants, that will get them lots of money. However, of the people that go to the restaurants or all the stuff that's reopening, mass gatherings, there's a good chance that quite a few of them will have COVID. And guess what? It will make the infection rate go up again. And it will therefore make us need to go back in lockdown, probably, knowing Boris Johnson will probably lock down again, which will cause the country's economy to take yet another hit. And that's basically, I think, with the way it's panning out, I think in the next few months we might have lost even more money than we have. So Boris Johnson thinks it's going to gain us money. No, it's fucking not. We're going to lose money, if anything, from all this. Unless you find a way to make it strict so that people don't go within a metre of each other. I think the metre rule's going down to. So, unless you tell people not to go within a metre of each other, it's more than likely going to cause us to be in a bigger chance of locking down again. And it's probably going to cost a lot of lives as well. So, quite frankly, it's quite clear that the government's main priority is not the health and safety of people. We all know what it is. It's obviously money their priority is. And in the top page, the third page and the fifth page from the top, that's the face of the UK's Prime Minister, brain dead Boris. So yeah. And I think I've told you all my points about this quick rant. And you can tell me your opinions in the comments. Now, I'm sorry I have not been posting as much lately. I've just lost a bit of interest in YouTube. And I can tell you a little story time later, because this happened a few days ago, and I'll tell you about story time probably this evening. So yeah. Thank you for watching this video, everyone, and I'll tell you about my story the other day. Goodbye. And that's Peng.